If you want to be successful, find out the price and then pay it. Scott Adams. My friends, coming to you here on Tuesday with the Wednesday show. On my way from home, traveling for Thanksgiving. Remember, the markets are closed for Thanksgiving, particularly for all of our foreign viewers. Please be aware of that here in the U.S. So appreciate everybody being with us. Let's talk about where we are today. Stocks are up along with bonds. Gold is about flat, technically down 0.03%. And Bitcoin is pulling back, not surprising. Let's talk about where we are with stocks. Now, as we look at the S&P, we can see for the last 2.5 days, if we look at the half-day chart, things have been ratcheting up. We have stopped at the end of the day right here at the weekly trend line. And it is a weak weekly trend line. We've talked about how there's not much there to see. As we look at the weekly trend line, it is about flat. It was the best we could do with what we had. We have a doji right now. Not a lot of volume. It is Thanksgiving week. As we look at the Monday, Tuesday, two-day candle, we can see that it has stopped below the average line as far as volume goes. We've got a green spinning top right there. Again, it's below. Haven't had the wick penetrate that weak weekly trend line. So where are we? Where are we going to go? Can't tell you. We had things surge down. It's popped up. Is it going to push through, rotate back over, going up? Or are we going to have some more down movement? Let's just continue to wait, watch, and see. Right now, we're just below 1% up for the day. Let's look at the Qs. The NASDAQ 100, again, below the weekly trend line. Not much of a trend line. Better than the S&P. It is heading down more. And as we look at things, we see that we have a doji for the two-day. Didn't hit average volume. Had average volume in the morning, then slacked off in the afternoon, but price continued, it looks like, up to a higher high than the morning. But again, red spinning top right now, showing indecision with not a lot of force. Force power is, of course, shown by volume. We don't have a great deal of that. So we're continuing to watch stocks. When we look at bonds, started, they were just running along sideways. We'll see another chart like that also, even more so, but with gold, if I recall correctly. But as we've watched, we saw stocks just sort of hit around the same bottom for several days. And then starting last Thursday morning, bonds started ticking up, pushed through on Monday. The weekly trend line have continued up. Decent two-day candle, breaking that trend line solidly. Just about average volume there. Still weak volume on the weekly, but we do have a break in the trend line, a clear break. And again, up just a little bit for the day, 0.24%. We do have, of course, nice volume last week where things did reach a lower low. Again, with a spinning top, not what we like to see when we have a trend broken. We like to have a big down candle with a nice wick on the bottom with above average volume and then a turnaround. Well, we could be having a turnaround, but we don't have our telltale signs that we like to see. What do we see going on with gold? Gold, like I said, is about flat. We can see where gold pushed down strong on Friday the 14th of November in the morning, and then again continued to track on, slid sideways for many days, and has been trying to track up, but just couldn't get anything going today, actually pulling back 0.03%. Now, again, these are Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. For those of you not familiar with Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, you're not your standard high open, low close. They help us see the average trend based upon the averages, how they're calculated. If you haven't taken our training on Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, you need to. You need to understand them and why we like them and how much they help us. So we see right now on gold, it is sitting right there on that weekly trend line, and again, not taking off. What about Bitcoin? We saw Bitcoin pop up yesterday decently, but again, pulling back today. I think it was about 3%, 3 something percent yesterday, pulling back 2% today. I told you that there is still just such a dearth of downward momentum here. And as we saw with last week with that huge plunge and all that volume. This week we haven't reached the low of last week yet, but we do have a decent red down candle. It started off lower than that prior trend line, and we'll continue to keep an eye on things as Bitcoin continues to pull back. How many of you did a trade on BITI? That is, of course, the inverse in Bitcoin, BITI. There are others. I like this one. I've actually real money traded this one. And we can see how it has been moving up. Again, percent up, 4% down in the underlying asset or equity, which is, of course, Bitcoin. That's what inverse funds are all about. Not for everybody. If you've not taken our training on inverse funds, again, I keep telling you, please take it. I'll put it at the end of today's video again for those of you who aren't aware of it. Remember, not a stock calling service, Bitcoin or gold or bond calling service. We're an education firm. I want you to practice trade these things that we talk about. If you're interested in learning how to trade options, we have a great 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. You get that at any of the 3 levels of Patreon support, along with my latest book. And you will just love it. 3-Wave Trading Advantage. I've got nothing but compliments on it because I worked real hard on it. A lot of good diagrams, explains totally what we do here. And that is, of course, free once you sign up. If you do want to sign up for a month for $30 and get all that for free and then quit, you can do it. We'd like you to stick with us because we give you a lot of good things every day, like our 5-day plus analysis and along with our trade execution summary grid. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.